Transmission received. O5 Council ID detected. Playing log now.
Ambrose, Wanderer's Library. Appetizers. 1. Chicken feet. A spin on the traditional Chinese delicacy. These little snacks run around your plate in circles, ready for you to catch and consume at your leisure. Deep fried and steamed before simmering in sweet sauce, served with bean paste. 2. Bug-aloo. A selection of insects, worms, and larvae, ranging from the common and mundane to the exotic and supernatural, served alive or seasoned with garlic, lime juice, chilies, and salt. 3. Multilingualism. 10 tongues marinated in lime juice and pepper. Each one provides a small but useful insight into a random foreign language. A carpaccio unlike any other. 4. Hypercheese. A 1 kilogram cube of cheese. Every bite transforms into the customer's preferred type of dairy delight. Brie? Gouda? Hard? Soft? Why choose when you can have them all? Served with bread and black olives. 5. Poetic sushi. A delicacy worthy of the most cultured scholar. Every piece recites haikus as you eat it. Remember not to eat it all the way until the poem is done, or it will be uttered by your belly. 6. Pocket aquarium. Twin koi fish that swim around in your plate. Use the supplied fishing rod to catch it and cut it open. Shrimp and cocktail sauce wait for you instead of guts. 7. Guaco. At first, you might think we have served you a potted tropical plant with geckos crawling on it. However, these little reptiles are all made of guacamole, the plant being an elaborate chicharron receptacle. Adds delightful new texture to any meal. 8. Fire chili. Hot and spicy enough to give you literal dragon breath. Your server will provide you with fireproof garments prior to serving. Salads. 1. Sautéed stopweeds. When eaten, they create a pleasant, tingling sensation resembling spice. In truth, it is their dying screams passing down your throat. 2. Mantis shrimp salad. A tiny orchestra of these sea critters plays a melody on your plate. As you eat, the song adapts to fill in for the missing orchestra members. 3. Forestry. A tiny forest growing from your plate. It is a proper forest. Pines, conifers, mosses, even animals. Have no fear of foul pine taste. Our chefs are wonderfully skilled in the creation of miniatures. These richly spiced trees, delicately sautéed deer, and full-bloom huckleberries make for a divine concoction of flavor. Come served with all organic alpine river water. 4. Salad head. A tiny pill that turns your hair, or equivalent head protuberances, into lettuce leaves. Pluck them from your scalp without as much as a tickle and eat on. Effects last for the duration of the meal. Not recommended for customers with alopecia or equivalent conditions. 5. Land and sea. A variety of seaweed, kelp, and algae served in a fishbowl full of our purest seawater. Take them out of the fishbowl and watch as they instantly dry and become edible. Soups. 1. Abyssal pleasures. A soup made from deep-sea stagnant water and succulent leviathan meat, served just above freezing. Thick, salty, and hearty, this dish induces deep bestial terror and religious fervor in the diner. Not recommended for strong dreamers. 2. Blue oyster chowder. A creamy dish perfect for seafood lovers. Allows for the opening and tuning of the mind's eye. Psychic powers linger for at least a few hours after consumption. 3. Elrician bread broth. A rich beef and potato stew served in a bowl made from artisanal bread from the land of Elric. Taste the passions, joys, and sufferings of the once living wheat. 4. Lentil folly. So good that you'll be willing to renounce your birthright for a single bowl. 5. Hobbies soup. Coming soon. Main courses. 1. Narcoctopus. A live octopus whose natural secretions work as hallucinogenic drugs. Swallow it whole, allowing it to inject your stomach lining before succumbing, and away we go. 2. Infinity noodle. Wheat noodles that keep on going. You pick one up and pull and it never ends. The entire bowl is just one infinitely long noodle. 3. Grari incendiary. Everybody loves grari, those savory three-legged one-eyed furballs. Now you can have them cooked live on your table, keeping their crunchy, spicy goodness all the fresher. 4. Roast dodo. Brought back to life through advanced cloning techniques and a little necromancy, the dodo is back on the menu. Order now. Who knows when the damn thing might go extinct again. 5. Wish upon a star. A miniature star hovering slightly over its plate. Every bite tastes like lightning. 6. Paella of discord. It might look like a mundane dish, but each person that eats it becomes convinced this version of paella is the only right type. Every time they serve the dish, there's at least one different ingredient, so no one agrees. 7. Breathing chameleons. About 100 or so invisible chameleons that climb on your body, in your ears, up your nostrils. After you have stopped breathing, but before you have died, they crawl into your lungs and breathe for you until they have integrated into your flesh. A good source of protein. 8. Leviathan fillet. Ethically harvested from naturally deceased specimens. This dish is sure to be a favorite of veteran spacefarers. 9. Sacred lamb. Consecrated in the name of the god of your choosing, served with mashed potatoes and our special gravy. Provides actual absolution for your sins. Kosher option available upon request. May induce religious ecstasy. 10. The plate of Asterion. A square plate bearing a labyrinth imprint. Navigate your way through it, unlocking the different pieces of your secret meal. 11. Cosmic tacos. Choose between beef, campechano, al pastor, tongue, or fish. Cooked in flames, blessed by Huehatol, the old god of fire himself. 12. Maritime. A scallop, carefully shaped to resemble an ocean liner, hemmed with thinly sliced and arranged wood ear representing the upper decks, staked in place with hand-painted toothpicks in lieu of 3 smokestacks, served sitting in the middle of a creamy turquoise sauce made from melted brie, heavily whipped cream, and a pinch of raspberry syrup. When eating this dish, you will experience the sensation of falling overboard an ocean liner on a sunny day into the water. At first, the heart quickens and there is panic, but turns into ease as the shimmering, iridescent water closes in and the blazing sun slowly drifts away. 13. Omelette without answer. At first, this omelette will taste delicious, but otherwise normal. As you continue eating, however, each bite will start to taste like different egg-based dishes, slowly progressing until you are tasting chicken. Eat it slowly enough and the cycle will commence anew. Desserts. 1. Book cake. Resembles a chocolate cake made of ink. Its taste might not be the best, but it gives the psychological feeling of reading a book as you consume it, and what is sweeter than knowledge may produce mild dyslexia afterwards. 2. Hive Sweet Hive. A peach with the crumbly texture of white chocolate, allowing you to bite down on it to crack it open, filled with live chocolate-covered ants. 3. Caramel eye of the beholder. A simple candy eyeball, but this one stares back. 4. Sugar rats. Rats with fur made out of spun sugar. No, you do not eat the rats. Simply brush them gently and their fur will fall right off. 5. Atlas Bibliothecae. Mind-breaking, reality-warping, traumatizing. Open it and gaze at the little chocolate miniatures of everyone in the library at the time it was made, including their exact location relative to one another. Pick one up and it screams and struggles in your hands. 6. Candy iguana. As you eat it, you will experience artificial memories of living as an iguana for the duration of your consumption. Take as long as you wish. 7. The Time Traveler's Sorbet. A raspberry sorbet that, when consumed, dilates time by a factor of 4 for approximately 2 real-world seconds, allowing you to savor the dish significantly more. 8. Only you and you alone. A miniature model of you, fried. Tastes like you too. Powdered sugar is optional. Drinks. 1. Water snakes. Exactly what it says on the label. Snakes made of water. They'll assist you in drinking by slithering down your throat. 2. Oasis cocktail. A martini glass full of glimmering sand, decorated with paper palm trees. Water will appear once the sand goes down your throat. Not recommended for clients with asthma nor a tendency to speak with their mouth full. 3. The Devil's Kiss. Ideal for lonely people or adventurous couples. This hot pink and bubbly drink has a spicy aftertaste in more than one sense, for it will open a portal to hell itself, located on a body orifice, from where a hot demonic babe will show up. It is highly recommended that you state your preferences out loud in the Codex Goetica language, Chaos Tongue, before consumption. Portal locations may vary. 4. Rubido. The prized wine of Algadan origin, now available for your delectation. Sporting subtle notes of blood, dried roses, mold, and old books. 5. Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster. A cosmic classic. Tastes like having your brain smashed out by a slice of lemon wrapped round a gold brick. Customer reviews. 4 stars. Ulok the Drifter. I was surprised by both the quality and the variety of food, though the menu does seem to be dominated by ingredients and recipes of Terran origin. I believe it is understandable given that the owner and most of the staff are human, baseline or otherwise. In the end, I settled for picking equally between known and unknown dishes. I had a fun time chasing the guaco geckos, though I could have used some choplines to complete the picture. The blue oyster chowder, which I had already tasted on an iteration of its planet of origin, Roeser, was so good I could almost psychically project an image of warm beaches and bronzed oyster boys. As for the grari, I will have to visit whichever world they came from. I'm curious as to what civilization could conceive of such a sinister yet delicious meal. The same goes for the sautéed stopweeds, which left me with a lingering sense of regret. I will undoubtedly return here on my next stop to the library. Who knows? Perhaps I will find yet another meal strange enough that encourages me to visit its world of origin. 4 stars. C.L. Atlas. A good meal. As a wanderer in the lands unclean and untouched by the rays of the sun, I find myself longing for something to inspire such warmth and happiness as does the gentle caress of the sun's rays upon my back, or the cold mountain winds. Such sensations are to be found here at Ambrose's. Such starvation of culture and poetry as is to be found in my home. I discovered the poetic sushi as something to suit my palate. It gives me much to think about, especially if one is to be slow about their meal, as I often am. The wonder contained within such little rolls of magic is something to definitely be investigated. The forestry salad was almost poignant in a way. I could not help but feel as if I was eating something living, breathing, and worthy of a chance at life. But it was delicious, so such thoughts were impractical. For a man of my size, no other option is practical but the infinity noodle. I did feel guilty returning my bowl just as full as I had taken it, but the sustenance it provides is unmatched. While it was quite bland, I do understand the difficulties in providing an infinite amount of sauce as well. Overall, dear reader, this restaurant is a wonderful relaxation point for those frequent visitors to the library. I may spend my time away from its halls, but when I do visit, I see myself coming back here again. Some issues may need to be worked out before I give a 5-star review, but those may lie more with me than the establishment. 5 stars. Ma. Okay, so I found this place completely by accident. Legit, I blinked once, and the next second I was sitting at a table ready to be served. Anyways, food and booze, not like I could complain. The hyper cheese block was good. It only took me a bite or two to realize I don't like cheese that much. My favorite part was the olives. The salad here was funny. Had something similar happen to me when I was a preschooler actually. The cosmic tacos were amazing. The chef is a real bro too. Would recommend, legit. My favorite dish of all were the sugar rats, however. I think they became attached to me as well. And the least one, the lentil folly, is not as good as they paint it. Trust me. Anyways, that's all I have for this review. The lads here asked me to write this before getting the tab. I didn't have the gall to tell them I have no money yet. It's been half an hour. The whole place is staring at me, meals included. Help. 5 out of 5. I gave you a good review here. You go, please let me use the toilet at least. 3 stars. Archmage Mortis. It is always a pleasure to savor a cup of Rubito without having to visit my masked friends. The roast dodo, however, I found rather unimpressive. Next time I expect more thorough attention to detail, or I will have Panspermia stop shipping this and other formerly extinct meats to undeserving kitchens. 2 stars. Athena. The plate of Asterion is not enough of a challenge. A blind idiot god could solve it. The Atlas Bibliothecae failed to even intrigue me. What kind of mind phrase under such mediocrity? The poetic sushi, on the other hand, was as intellectually stimulating as it was delicious. I will have to tell Thoth about it. 5 stars. Belphegor. At last, someone blasphemous enough to cater to my kind, and with babes included to boot. 2 stars. Gotsem Relic. The highest quality food comes with some unfortunate implications. Read my full review on this week's Planaste. 1 star. Mred. In my short life, I have had many pleasures. I have tasted the oyster birds of Articulus. I have flown the flavored cherry winds of Teeth of the Giants. I have taken part in the ancient haptic synaptic tea ceremonies of where the sun tastes like wine. And yet, for all my travels, never once did I expect a company so fantastic and renowned as Ambrose restaurants to grind to the base, vile concoctions served before me today. I will admit, I am a professor of anti-ethics and parapsychology. When I speak of morals, of good and evil, I know of what I speak. I know what I mean, and intend what I say, when I say that I believe the most basic view of any living creature is that when given the choice, that which is food should not be alive, and furthermore, that it should be forbidden to eat of one's kin. To be blunt, today I was served living snakes of water, emaciated rats with short, patchy sugar fur that broke off at the slightest touch and offered no warmth, a dying breed of octopus soaked in its own extracted hallucinogenic defenses, and left helpless to be eaten alive, and the breast meat of baby leviathan soaked in the last juices of a dry ocean. This restaurant left a horrendous taste on my tongue. The food was good, but the damage to my spirit is irreparable. The only good thing about this restaurant is the service, as can be expected, though I will be frank, it was not anything special. It was basic. I was sat, tabled, asked, dosed, and served, and according to my memory, flown with banks of gulls like clouds. Well, it looks as though my dining options have caught up with me, and I will have to cut my review short. The spider dances large as the moon at midnight. I will edit my review when I have recovered. My condolences to those reading and expecting something sane. Good day and enjoy the butterflies. Ambrose never advertises it, but their ceiling is made of shimmering iridescent wings. Whee! 4 stars. Dr. Noreen Ray. Dietary concerns are another part of the healthcare in the library, and I would be remiss if I did not offer the curious wanderer some words of wisdom gained firsthand after eating here. While not nutritionally sound, the time traveler's sorbet has become a guilty pleasure of mine to relax after a long day of work. I found the taste of the Leviathan fillet to be divine, bringing back a flavor of home I haven't had the pleasure of experiencing in several millennia. And well, tasty. I can't help but be worried about the carb intake from the infinity noodles. Overall, the Ambrose restaurant seems to be a welcome spot for all wanderers. Nobody wants to enjoy their favorite story on an empty stomach, after all. The wide selection of dishes catering to the nutritional needs of all who enter its doors makes this a wonderful new addition to the food scene within the library. The only major issue I personally have would be the uptick in stomach aches our medical team has had to treat from all the patrons overeating at this establishment. 4 stars. John Kai Zoe. For starters, the multilingualism dish was disappointing. All 10 languages were from the Immortal Empire. If it had included at least one language outside of the Empire, this review would have been 5 stars. Abyssal pleasures paired with the breathing chameleons will quench any curious wanderer's thirst for what it feels like to die in an extremely positive way. The former's dread truly lives up to its description. Lastly, the time traveler's sorbet is enough of an experience to make the review 4 stars. It is astounding how well it works. Never before have I been so amazed by a dish. I will be back for the dessert alone. 4 stars. Elijah Halloway. I normally don't eat in the library, mostly because I could duck through a way off to the other places for my meals, but today was an exception. I wish I knew what I was missing out on sooner. I was strolling through the library, talking with a lovely Miss Rosenthorn from Flen, talking about Vorstrucks and Twain when the menu board caught my eye. I had skipped breakfast that morning to search the stacks with her for a certain book about paraphysical birds of paradise, so naturally that worked up quite an appetite. Staff were courteous and quick to get us seated, and service was quite fast amidst the choreographed chaos of the brunch rush. I opted for maritime, while she had the Leviathan fillet. The scallop was perfectly cooked throughout. Sliced wood ear adds a brisk and pleasing crunch, perfectly mingling with the tenderness of the scallop meat and velvety sauce. You have to search a bit for the raspberry flavor, however. Sensations are quite strong, permeating through the flavor itself. The sea, sun, steamship exhaust, being pulled under, slipping beneath those ethereal waters, reminds me of my stint serving on a PBY Catalina in the Pacific during the Second World War. Excellent dish. Miss Rosenthorn reports that likewise her Leviathan fillet is equally as good, thoroughly seasoned, but could use a bit more searing to cover the bitter aftertaste of the singe from the arc of a hunter's electro spear. Doctor's note. I've been to this one before. The Wanderer's Library's Ambrose restaurant is one of their better ones, I guess. It suits my palate more with the more esoteric dishes because of the visitors they have. Although, I will say it's probably their third or fourth best one. Best one.